Hi, Scorpio. This is Jeffrey. This is Rife Color. And this is your three-card reading for the week of February 7th through the 14th. Before I start, I want to say I think gratitude is really important. I feel like this is part of the message. It's very easy to look around in your life in whatever area and this isn't right and that isn't right and blah 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 blah. Look for what's right. Look for what's working. Look for what you have, what you don't. Because what you don't is an opportunity to grow and to learn and to acquire knowledge about yourself and about the world. So it's almost like, if you unzip yourself and you put your problems in the middle of the room and everyone else does the same thing, you probably take your own problems back. Okay. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, press the bell for notifications. I'm offering 30-minute readings for $30, and all the information is below. Okay. I did my shuffling, and let's see what's going on. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Three of Cups, the Hanged Man, Seven of Cups. Okay. The Three of Cups is a lovely card, the Three Graces. So this has an energy of celebration and an energy of creativity. Then you get the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man's fascinating. This is about a pause. This is about seeing things from a different angle, sort of what I was talking about. This is about taking stock. This is really about taking stock and about seeing things from a different angle. Maybe looking at your life from the outside looking in instead of from the inside looking out. Right? Compare yourself to yourself and be open to seeing it in a different light. And then, you get, so this card a lot of times is it's a 7. A lot of times this is read as illusion and delusion, not to the extent that the Moon card is. The Moon is really kind of, there's like a lunatic thing to it. But this is really like choose your joy. Choose what makes you happy, right? Choose what you want to daydream about. Choose what you dream about. So, there might be an energy of, well, I used to think it was really important what other people thought of me. This is just an example. And suddenly I realize it's not that important. Or let's say, you have an identity as a writer, okay? And you've been, writing and this and that, and like nothing's come of it, and you're not being fed by it, and you have other interests. You have other, like, I like to think of them as like being in a garden with like a lot of different colored butterflies. This is the way I like to think about it. And you have like that butterfly net, and all the thoughts and all the ideas and all the inspirations are different butterflies floating around. And you always go for that monarch, right? You always go for the orange butterfly. Of course, you let it free, afterwards. Cute little butterfly. Um, they fly from Canada all the way down to central Mexico. It's amazing. It's this big through the plains. It's like, oh my God. Um, it's generational, but it's pretty amazing. And instead of choosing the orange, it's like, well, maybe I'll pick the white one. Maybe I'll pick the black one. Maybe I'll pick the blue one, or maybe all of a sudden I really like to eat this, or all of a sudden this is interesting to me. Let's see what happens there. Do I have to identify myself? You know, uh, is it so important that I identify myself as a writer? Or, I'm not saying, oh, I'll never write again, and you throw away the book and, you set it on fire. And, I'm not saying Scorpio. I'm like that. Okay. So I'm not saying that. I'm saying, well, maybe you're also interested in food, right? So, you get deeper into cooking or baking or whatever it is. Well, maybe you could write about food, right? Maybe you can combine two things. Or maybe, you decided to take a break from writing for a while and let it sit and do what it does. You did everything you could do, you sent it all out, and see what comes back. And if nothing comes back, maybe it's just not the time for it to come back. And maybe it's time to get busy with something else. Okay, so let me go into this card. This card is like beyond. This is Odin. So Odin is one of the major gods in Norse mythology, and Odin had the gift of prophecy, right? And it was considered, it's a very odd thing in that culture for a man to have that gift, because prophecy is really about receiving, and that's a very feminine energy in almost all cultures, right? Like women's sexual organs receive, right? It's intuitive, it receives, it listens. So Odin wants to go deeper. Odin wants to go deeper. So he makes a sacrifice. He gouges out his own eye. So he's willing to see things in a different way, right? Because if you ever, it's like your whole depth perception is off. So he puts himself on the tree and he goes into the other realms. That's what he does. He goes into all the different realms of existence and he experiences them. And so he has this profound understanding now, this really profound understanding that he never could have had he not stopped and given up a piece of who he was in order to gain something. Sometimes, it's kind of like politics. Yesterday I watched all this geopolitical stuff on YouTube. It was fascinating. And how, sometimes a country has to make a sacrifice so that it'll get along with its neighbors, for the future, for trade, for peace, for, building an alliance, for, the greater good of the neighborhood, say. Like, let's say you live in a house and you planted some tree or some bush and it's like completely taking over. And it really makes your neighbor unhappy. Sometimes in order to keep the peace, it's like, well, maybe I can plant it somewhere else. Or maybe I can, extend myself to this person. Maybe they have kids and you have a pool and you don't have any kids. and the kids want to jump around in the pool. It's like, so let the kids jump around in the pool. You know, uh, I don't know. It was a weird example. Um, so that you don't have to cut down your beautiful rose bush, right? You make a little compromise. Maybe see things from, you know, maybe see things from someone else's angle. Like, well, or, it's something, let's say that could, like, let's say this other person next door has kids, and you have something that they might come in contact with that's dangerous. So, you make a compromise and say, you know what, maybe I won't plant this poisonous plant that the kids are going to eat the berries and die. Scorpio. It's a little bit like that. And the other thing is, um, the information and the choices are going to come from listening, from stopping, calm down, open, allow, receive. Now's the time, right? Every so often, Scorpio has to like retreat, right? And observe. Now's a really good time for that. Now's a really good time for that. Also, there's a stellium in Aquarius, and Aquarius square Scorpio, because all the fixed signs, right? So Aquarius is a square to Scorpio, and everything is going to be in Aquarius this week. So this is going to hit your chart. So you can get squares in your chart from the moon and the sun and Venus and Jupiter and Saturn all this week. So, it's this new way of looking at things, sort of maybe a challenging way of looking at things. And just sit and observe. And then you can make choices. So that's my take for Scorpio. God bless. One-on-ones are available. $30 for 30 minutes. It's all below. And actually, I think it's very exciting. Like what's going on with us, with you, with me, with the world. And, it's time to maybe shift your line of sight. Okay. Blessings.